With the best advice your mom ever gave you. You will never have to live this day again. On my very first memorably bad day, coming home from school unable to stop sobbing. I reuse it whenever trying to console someone after specific pains. Edit. My mom says thanks you all. If there an uncomfortable feeling in your gut about a person, situation, or place, go with it. Listen to it and either protect yourself or GTFO. Thanks for your stories everybody. Stay safe. I going to tell my mom she was smart for telling me this. Cheers. Oh, and also, if you dislike someone for a character trait, make sure you don't have the same one. Things that annoy you in others might be things you do yourself. Sometimes you won't be in love with your husband, but it will be your commitment to stay together that keeps your marriage working. And then one day, you find yourself back in love with him. Something my grandfather told her. Then she told me, hugs and handshakes, give them like you mean it. Happiness is just having something to look forward to. You had your issues, Mom, but this advice has served me well. Don't touch that. It's too hot. I learned that it was, indeed, too hot. Look in the mirror and see if you see a friend in there. If you don't, take a longer look and get the friend back. My mom said you young people get confused about dates. A date is just supposed to be a fun get-together with someone, not meaning you're picking out life partners and deciding what house to buy. Just go out on a date and have fun together. Stop taking it so serious. This is one of the things I keep remembering when trying to go out on dates. Not that happens that often. When I was a preteen, she told me as you get older you're going to think everyone around you is changing. It's not them that are changing, it's how you see the world that is changing. I thought that was super weird advice, but as I got older and started to see adults for who they really were, it really made sense. They weren't changing, I just never noticed that side of them before. I genuinely think it's why I wasn't a bratty teen, because I knew my parents were still the same parents. I was just seeing everything differently. Me, age 6, if I do this does something it hurts mother. Well, don't do it. Me, my god, that's genius. What a woman. In exasperation, my mom told me, when you show up late, it tells people that you think your time is more important than theirs. I used to be chronically late to nearly everything, and that statement just crushed me because I love my mom and my friends and would never purposely be disrespectful. I had just never looked at it that way before. I'm rarely late anymore, and it's been amazing how something so seemingly small has improved my relationships and has all around made my life better and less stressful than I could have expected. Wish mom would have laid into me sooner. Edit. This was in reference to being in the 15-45 minutes late arena, not just a minute or two. Being gentle never comes out of fashion. Have more money than he does. It sounds really sexist, and it is, but my mom was raised by an abusive father. Whenever he wanted to make a point, he walked out on the family for a few months to stay in some hotel so my mom, and her mom, would be eating out of dumpsters. I'll be damned if I don't have enough money that I can afford to leave the minute any guy hits me. You don't regret money spent on travel. My mom was always kind of thrifty and we traveled cheaply, but we traveled to convince me her advice was solid. She asked the adult me if I remembered what our couch looked like when I was 12, or what I got for Christmas. I couldn't remember. Then she said, what about the trip we took the Grand Canyon that summer? Memories galore. ETA. Sometimes advice is offered as a memorable statement and leaves some caveats unsaid. Of course, not every trip is memorable, not every destination desirable, not every spending decision around travel will be free from regrets. The spirit of this advice is still, I think, sound. Gis and worth jail time. Even if you love each other so much and he is so sorry and it will never happen again. If he hits you, you leave. My mom said that I should listen to the advice I give to other people. For years that didn't make sense, but recently all the pieces seem to fall in place. Especially the advice I gave my mom is now applicable to myself. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree in that regard. Never hit anybody unless they hit first, then go to town. I've never been violent, but I'm still glad I was told to stand up for myself. My mom always said and has always taught me to respond to situations instead of react to them. It took me 9 months to make your heart. Don't let someone break it in a day. People will come and go in your life, but your mother will always love you. Live east of where you work. That way you won't be driving directly into the sun in either direction. 1. Not everyone who smiles in your face is your friend. 2. Never let anyone know everything you know. 3. Love is never enough. 4. Learn how to take care of you. 5. Think with your head, not with your heart. When people show you who they are, believe them. You don't have the right to ruin anybody's day. It's a simple and probably very optimistic advice when it comes to some very annoying people, but I try to follow it whenever I can. My mom has given me lots of good advice. A few ones stick out to me. Upon asking her why she had quit work to raise her kids, she told me many people lie on their deathbed wishing they had spent more time with family. No one lies there and thinks they should have worked more. She liked to tell me growing up we all have our cross to bear as a reminder to the fact we all have our struggles, and it helped me be more empathetic to others. My freedom ends where yours begins. Always do your best, even if it means a C and not an A. If it's your best, then you did well. If anyone asks you to do more, tell them, I'm doing my best, and they have to respect that, because as long as you work your hardest, it is the truth. No one can do more than they can. Be nice first, because you can always be mean later, but once you've been mean to someone, they won't believe the nice anymore. So be nice, until it's time to stop being nice. Then destroy them. You can't please the world, so you have to please yourself. That end. Don't settle for something that is similar to what you want. Be patient and save up for what you really want. When I first looged into Facebook, when I was 14, my mom told me that the internet is like a postcard. Of course you can write every little secret onto it, but you have to expect that everyone can read it. I think many teens should know that. Edit. I made a mistake. I joined Facebook when I was 14 in 2012, not in 2014. No really advice as in words, but as in showing me how things are done. My mother was 16 when I was born. Due to me arriving when I did, my mom had a hard time at school and ultimately failed a lot of her final exams. A few years later, her and my father split, leaving her at 20-ish, a single parent, having to run a house, support a kid, all on little to no life experience and money. I remember that time pretty well. We were dirt poor. My mom worked through it, ended up working 2 jobs at one point and attending night school to get her school degree, then college to earn her accountancy degree. By the time she was done, I was about 18 and she had also met my stepfather, who is the coolest guy, and together they had my little sister as well. All in all, we struggled through, her more so than me, but she showed me that you can achieve anything if you work hard for it. Her life experiences helped me get through college when I didn't think I'd be able to pass at a decent grade. I used her experience as I can fail this, and she helped me study as well, knowing what could possibly be if you flunk out of school. Right now, I'm 31 and paying off large amounts of debt after trying to start my own business some years ago. At times it's been pretty hard, but again I know my mother has been through worse, and I'm in a better position than she was at my age. Despite me having a ton of debt at the moment, she is now a fully qualified accountant and often helps me with ongoing financial advice to help me get through this as well. All in all, she's one tough cookie, who always did the right thing and helped me get through life. She's still helping me now, when she doesn't have to, but she wants to. And I super grateful for her help, wise words, advice, actions throughout my life. The world will send you where it wants you to be, was my mom's take on fate. I don't really believe in fate, but at certain times in my life that statement really calmed me down and stopped me from obsessing about things I can't control. Always have enough money to get out of a situation and an exit strategy. She said it about dates, but it's good advice in general. Mommy, your skin is as soft as a marshmallow. Your skin has 3 enemies: time, gravity, sun. Does my skin have a friend, Mommy? Yes. Laughter. It exercises your face upwards. Today is my mother's birthday, so this is fitting. I wouldn't say it's a single thing she told me, but the collective amounts of knowledge over many years. She has given me everything I need to be a successful person, and I love her so much for it. The one that does stick out is most people want to be liked. So find what you do like about them and show them what that means to you. This has allowed me to find the best in people, and then you can compliment them about something they might not even notice. Don't sleep with the baby. Ever 11 years later, I'm one of the only people in my friend group that has and has sleep problems with their kid. Water finds its own level essentially. Everything will work out in the end the way it should work out / karma evens out in the end. Yay, there might be periods that suck and seem like things aren't going to be okay, but in the end they will be. The refrigerator is not a weapon. That one is my favorite. My sister and I often end calls with remember and give each other that advice. It was yelled at us and she had me pinned on the floor and was repeatedly shutting the door on my head. For fun, it was pain was not involved, just giggling. Mom was trying to cook and we were in the way. For usefulness, she told me one thing that changed the course of my life that I pass on to everyone I can. Choose your choices. She told me not to let life happen to me. I had to think about and make choices. Even if they were bad choices, I should acknowledge them and work towards them. The smallest things from should I just sit here and watch more Netflix instead of doing laundry, and if I did, to recognize what that costs me, and deciding to deal with the consequences, to choosing to marry someone who I will likely fight with forever, but I'd love to distraction. He'll be more work, but he's worth it and feels the same way about me. Life is much smoother if you really think and decide that the consequence of your actions and choices are worth it, rather than just mindlessly going along and then being surprised and not able to deal with what happens. Choose your choices. Take ownership of your good and bad stuff. Know who you are and what you are picking. You do not have to make all the right choices and good decisions, but pick and know what that means. Live a life where you are honest with yourself and you feel in control. It leads to far more contentment,